So let me start with a story, because I do promise you that this podcast will be based on not only facts, reality, but also a story. I will tell you a story about myself. I am a medical doctor, graduated in 2013. I do my study around 5 to 5.5 years. 3 years pre-medical school, and not pre-medical school, just a pre-clinic, and 1 year for clinical station, or you can say it class. And after that I get the Bachelor of Medicine, and continuing the clinical station, and got 1 year after that I got the title, the doctor degree. And at that time, the first time when you have to do a competency test, not only a written, not only in writing, but also for a practical test, or normally we just say that OSCE. Truthfully, I'm not really a bright student. I take the competency test twice, and thank God, finally get it and get my physician oath in the early of 2014. And then I do my intern for 1 year back in my hometown, and after that I completely leave the physician life and become something else, something that not really do a conventional doctor do, but I still managed to use my previous knowledge during my college, and my experience during medical school throughout all of my career until nowadays. Now, talking about the name of this podcast, Dr. Pintar, or in English, you can say that I'm a smart doctor. But if you search smart doctor, you can find anything, any kind of websites, any kind of apps being there. But of course, that's not my content. But the real reason why I use the word smart means that you have to be intelligent, not only you understand how to be a doctor, but you really need to have another intelligence, like how to manage a crisis, how to handle very tough pressure, how to make a quick decision, and of course including determine what will you do for your career, and not wasting time after you graduated your school or in medical school for this matter. During my year in medical school, like I said earlier, that I'm not quite a bright student. Even during my high school, I'm not good at biology. My grade is not really good, sometimes below average, but I do have a tendency to like physics and mathematics, so at least I can use my logic during my first and second year. Yet I try to learn everything during the clinical stage, but it is quite hard. It's not as difficult as my other friend, where they just give up, become a student, and just go to another study. Of course, even though they are really doing well in another major, but I really don't want you to be like that, because the number of dropouts in medical school, as you already hear in previous episodes, is really low. So around the globe, medical school just a place for a student that really want to be a doctor, as long as he have that kind of spirit and just relentless to study everything. Basically, you just can pass the medical school, unlike the other major where the number of dropout rate is really high. Why? Because in medical school, again, this is a school, not a college, not a university based learning like any other major, where you need to determine what study will you take during the major, what lecture that you need to do right now, or after that. You just do like a student in a school. Medical school already have the exact curriculum. I think mostly in this country the curriculum will be totally same, because we have that kind of standard that a doctor need to pass several rotation, need to have at least that kind of basic knowledge. So basically the curriculum everywhere will be the same, but it really depends on how you can manage to do the study by yourself, because right now the curriculum for a medical doctor, at least until now that I'm aware of, it is based on student-centered learning. So the teacher is not act as a lecturer, but they act just like a facilitator. During a preclinical stage, most of your time is doing a group-based discussion with your team, a small group around 8 to 10 people, and discussing one topic every week. And you will get the lecture around 3 to 4 hours a day during that week regarding that topic, and after that kind of discussion, you need to put the conclusion of that discussion within your group and make the presentation, and you present. So basically that's what you will expect during the preclinical stage. So mostly will be based on how many you can read or you can learn outside of the campus. Well, of course, I'm not that kind of student that after doing study at college and just go home and study more. That's not really me, and most of my friends also not like that. I totally regret that actually, but one thing that I also learned is in medical school you can depend on your friends. Let's say you need to understand 200 pages of books. Well, you have 10 people in your group, then you just divide it. So one person can understand 20 pages of the book, and the other will understand another 20, another 20. And when you do the discussion, then you will get the key points in each of that 20 pages or in each chapter of that book. So people will have the same understanding of what is actually in that 200 pages of books. That's also happened in a larger scale. For let's say in your year there's a 200 to 300 medical student doing a study with you, then there is a small group of that student will be responsible to make sure that everyone this is a very good teamwork during a medical school year, because at the earlier stage you as a student, there are certain people that really care about the other and really want that you will pass the test, and you will go through every single moment with them, and together pass and graduate as a doctor in the same time with everyone. So there is a certain group of people. Well, of course, mostly of them is a brilliant student and very intelligent student that will make a summary of the topic of that month and distribute that summarize things, and everyone can learn from it. Everyone can learn from their notes, and maybe and also you will get the support from your senior. Your senior have a question database where you can learn from it. If you have a quiz in the end of the month, and then hopefully you can pass the test, because the test will be pretty much the same with previous year. So this happened every time. During your school, during your study in medical school, you will need to pass at least a monthly test, monthly exam. You will need to have a good work and collaboration with others during focus group discussion and presentation, and deliver whatever that you've been assigned by the group leader, and also shows that you are not falling behind. At least you can pass the minimum standard of the exam and continue with another module or another curriculum. That's basically what I do until I graduate, become a medical doctor, and also most of my friends do that, the same thing. Even though we are not really quite a brilliant student, even though we get the title of the doctor, some of them just go straight to be a physician. Some of them continuing their education as specialists, and few of them pursue another career just like me. So that's all for today's episode. I hope this is beneficial for you, and please wait for another episode, and of course it will not be in English again. So that's all. Thank you. Bye. Yo, thank you udah dengerin podcast ini. Jangan lupa untuk ngasih saran, kritik, komen, apapun yang ingin kalian tanyakan untuk bahan gue bahas di podcast berikutnya. Email ada di deskripsi, dan jangan lupa untuk tetap belajar, berusaha, dan berdoa. Semoga kita menjadi dokter yang terbaik.